Hello there, Bick Benedict here. We're playing The Last of Us Remastered on Grounded difficulty. This is my no damage guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 9, so we've taken control as Ellie since Joel is down for the current time. And to get to the next section, you just need to shoot the deer twice. You do need to walk slowly. You don't need to graze the analog stick. And you just need to watch out that you don't walk over any branches because the deer will hear that. So we have two arguably difficult sections on Ellie's sequence over here. There are fast-paced gunfights that if you've done stealth primarily up until now, you're probably going to have a struggle getting these sequences down. I did. I've always had a trouble on this because I don't think they're too difficult. All I know is that they're without question they're difficult and they're challenging. They ask a lot of you, but they don't ask so much that you probably won't be able to do it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, once you hit it twice, just do a 180 turn and then come on up here. It should be over here through this way. Unfortunately, what I feared has come true. You don't carry over any upgrades that you've made with the bow. This is kind of funny over here. I came over here so quickly that the game had a hard time catching up over here. I mean, it didn't really have a hard time, but I got here before the deer did, since I knew the way. So you're using Ellie and you're using an unupgraded bow, and it's kind of a shame that they've removed all the upgrades from the bow, because the reload speed, which is basically the time it takes for you to draw another arrow into your bow, is the default. So there are it's a completely unupgraded bow. So they start you off with 4 arrows and 9 rounds of the hunting rifle. So at first there's going to be 3 enemies, and after I shoot the 3rd enemy, I'm going to fire a round and empty my clip, so that David then will toss me 6 more bullets for the hunting rifle. He only tosses you bullets when you're out of ammunition, so that's why I did that. So at this point, there's going to be 2 enemies jumping in from the left window, and then one coming in from the right. The key to winning a lot of these fights while preserving the most ammunition for yourself is to stand behind David, because as long as there aren't 2 enemies in the room coming after you guys, if you just stay behind David when there's 1 enemy coming at you guys, the enemy will come up to David, and then once you run up to the enemy, you can knife them. You can't get the upper hand on enemies with Ellie just by using her. They have to be staggered, or they have to have been already embroiled with tangling with David for that to happen. So the first time you get back to control over here, I bust out my rifle on that bitch over there because I always have a hard time hitting her. It takes 2 arrows to kill a clicker unless you get a headshot with the bow, but it's pretty difficult to do that. 1 bullet with the rifle on any body shot for a clicker, it's just 1 bullet for the clicker. So I use the hunting rifle for the clickers. The main problem you're gonna face with Ellie on these sections is that you're gonna invariably, at least if you fall into the same pitfall that I do, is that you are going to get killed trying to reload your weapon. It's just that's why I say I wish that they would allow you to carry over your upgrades, but I think they just wanted it an even playing field for all players, regardless of what they've done to the bow. So pattern memorization over here is very crucial. You'll learn the room. I mean, because it's a small environment, and you're going to, after so many trial and errors, you're going to learn from which direction enemies come. One of the problems about this room is that you face the issue of, like, you don't want to use too much ammunition, and as long as you leave the room with, like, even if you have less, like, I've left the room with as much as 3 and 6, with the 3 for the bow, 6 for the arrows. It is better to have more hunting rifle ammunition for the next part. Also, this part over here, a clicker, the one with the purple pants, this clicker always comes into the room, and there's not a bottle over here to throw and stun it, and you can't stand behind David for protection. It just doesn't seem to work in this little room over here, so you have to waste a bullet trying to take out the clicker. So I wish they would put a bottle in that room. There's also I hovered over an HP pickup over there just to confirm that I did take no damage on that first area. But I ended up I believe I ended up with 3 and 3. You're going to be doing another very fast-paced sequence coming up with a bloater, and like the section that we just did, it's going to be very fast-paced, and it's hard to say which is more difficult. But the thing about the sections that we just did is that try not to be too concerned about saving your ammunition for the next fight, because through being accurate, you're going to be able to preserve ammunition. You do have to be accurate, but you don't have to worry about being inaccurate, because if you're inaccurate, you're not going to win. Now, over on this part over here, there's going to be a couple of moving clickers. There's going to be one stationary clicker that I'm going to do a stealth kill on, and the stealth killing these clickers over here is just as broken as stealth killing the stationary runners can be sometimes. So I did also try to farm items off of these clickers over here, any of the ones that I possibly could try it on, and just nothing doing. I didn't get any drops, and I tried to do it repeatedly, and I'm talking about over 10 times. Like, I gave it a fair shot. But over here, don't forget these items over here. I do want to go over the manifest of items that is available once we get to this next, and probably, I would say, harder fight coming up with the infected and then a bloater. So this is the inventory. I know it might not be necessary to reel this all off, but I just wanted to let you guys know what you get. So you get two quarter pieces of blades. So that's going to be half of a blade in total. You get a half of a piece of alcohol, a half of a piece of explosive powder. You get one nail bomb, one arrow, one Molotov cocktail, and one half piece of cloth. So add all of that up to what you've picked up formerly, and that should enable you. It will enable you, to craft an additional nail bomb and an additional Molotov. So the game is actually quite generous in giving you a full nail bomb and a full Molotov for the section coming up. And I decided to place the two. Well, you'll see it. What happens? Yeah, no luck on farming for items from these clickers over here. But the great thing about the encounter that's coming up is that the game will checkpoint, and it doesn't always do this. The game will checkpoint once you get to the area. It's going to checkpoint, your status of getting there and everything like that. And thereafter, anytime you reset the encounter, it's going to revert you back to a period of time about 15 seconds before the actual fight kicks off, so that you can change anything that you might want to change. What usually happens is it checkpoints it right before you've made a. For me personally, it checkpointed like right before I made my second nail bomb. So it's something that other games could definitely learn from now. So if you're ever dissatisfied, for instance, of where you've placed a nail bomb, you can reset the encounter. So if you just allow yourself to get killed, it's going to leave everything you had it just as you had it. But if you want to change things up a little bit, then you can reset the encounter. So I do appreciate that. Now I'm going to dig in the hall over here, only because of the chaos that can ensue with all of the ingress points over here, because all of the infected, they jump through different parts of the window, and if you stay out here, then the infected can actually run over these nail bombs, and I want to save my nail bombs for the bloater. So I'm going to place my nail bombs thusly, one there, because the bloater actually falls onto the top of the elevator shaft, and then he jumps off right about to where the nail bombs are that I position them. So this is, like I said, where I dig in. There's going to be I think there's 3, maybe 4, 3 runners at first, and then two clickers. So I kill the runners with the arrows, and then I just quickly kill the clickers with the rifle, and then I just scour the environment. Another thing, if you want to do this, you can place nail bombs. Do you know where the clickers just fell? You can place nail bombs on the other side of the hallway by the doors at the end, those orange doors. But I found that I usually ended up only killing like one enemy, and killing one enemy seems like a waste for a nail bomb. But the way this works is that you're going to have enemies running from that little hole in the wall where they jumped out originally or fell out, and they're also going to be running down the hall from where this guy came out over there. And the game is always consistent, and it's quite fair in it doesn't ever spawn them coming from 2 sides at once. So what you really need to do over here is continue to rely on the whole David trick of staying behind David, and trying to be as accurate as you possibly can with the arrows, and realizing that any missed shot is probably going to result in your demise because of the incredibly slow reload time. But once the we're not quite there. See, the really nice thing about this is that for some reason, I don't know what exactly it is, if you stay in this hall over here, nobody sets off your nail bombs. Everybody has no business in that area where the nail bombs are. So you don't ever have to worry about anybody other than the bloater setting off the nail bomb, because he is potentially a problem over here. And this should be the last clicker. When you see the L3 button prompt, there's a couple clickers. The L3 button prompt, that means the bloater has come into the scene over here. And far and away the best way to damage this guy is to throw the Molotov at him, like aim it at him and hit him with it so that he gets engulfed by the flame. And a little unfortunate, yeah, we killed him. So it took 2 nail bombs did not kill him, which is a little unfortunate. So it takes more than 2 nail bombs to kill him. And then after he spawns, there is a couple more enemies left, and then you've cleared the fight. And then don't forget to, and then it immediately checkpoints too, by the way. So don't accidentally restart the checkpoint, because then everybody's going to disappear and you're going to miss out on these weapon pickups over here. Now, how hard is that part? It's just as hard as the other hard parts on grounded difficulty, and I don't mean to be evasive about that question. All I mean is this, guys. No damaging grounded difficulty is not very hard, because as long as you can hold your own on grounded difficulty, clearing the game no damaging grounded difficulty is not much harder than just beating grounded difficulty. Honestly. So what you're gonna find in that section, more than anything else, is just the slow reload time and the questionable hitboxes of these enemies sometimes, with respect to when you hit them. Quite a shame actually, but yeah. So my mistake in the past on those bloaters was I would wait until he would land, and then I would just throw the Molotov at his feet, which is counterproductive because if you can hit him with the Molotov, let him get hit with it and then engulfed by the flames, that actually deals more damage. So you shouldn't have to fire a single round, 2 nail bombs and a thrown Molotov cocktail directly at him. Also over here, if enemies jump on your horse, I could not figure out how to kick them off. I kicked them off on my other grounded guide, but I couldn't figure it out over here. I tried triangle and square. I don't really know what it is. Somebody in the comments could tell you and they would know, but as long as you just go around where the enemies are located and don't get anywhere close to the enemies, then you should be okay over there. And it is going to look like you're taking damage over here, but this damage, the blood that just exploded there, came from the horse. So it was the horse that took the damage there, not us. So we're still at max health. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is come down here. You should not be getting shot at by those enemies that killed the horse. If you are and you do find yourself getting shot, just reset the checkpoint. All right, here's the last checkpoint for a while. Last time, don't forget the arrow and the couple of good things in this area over here. I am going to head over here to the right. On my last campaign, I headed to the left of the KNRB0, of course, and this time I went to the right. I think going to the left is safer, but I just for some reason I ended up going over here to the right because there was a pair of scissors over here. So the way that Ellie works is that you start out with obviously the hunting rifle and with the bow. The rifle is something that you get from David, Dirty David. But if enemies drop weapons, then you get to pick them up and you have them. So for instance, we will get a shotgun drop over here. Sometimes just getting ammunition. Is that right? No, I don't think it's just. You'll see a weapon on the ground. It will say like hold to equip. So I don't think it's getting the ammunition. You just get a weapon drop randomly. So it really isn't going to turn the tide of it too much, guys. The hunting rifle and the bow are all you really need. So I think someone over here by the bathrooms, I think someone dropped it over here. This sack of shit went into the bathroom over there to shit it up, I guess. So when you're playing The Last of Us, you're often going to find yourself in the dilemma of should I loot during sequences or should I just quickly get through the sequence? Now, if you go around looting for things, you're probably going to find yourself in the position of encountering enemies. Okay, yeah, we got a handgun. We did get a handgun over there, so we will need to equip it and then reload it so that we can use it without any incident. Oh shit, man. That probably alerted some folks. So, we also got a shotgun and another bullet for it. So I'm gonna hide in one of these stalls over here and just hopefully let things simmer down a bit if possible. A couple of these sections coming up, including this one, you can just walk through them and you don't have to do anything involving killing. There's also alcohol in the basin over there. I think I forgot to pick that up, but small things like that are never going to turn the tide of whether you win or lose. But we need to head over here to the right and we've got to hopefully try to get past these enemies over here. There's going to be a guy in that dirty jacket and this purple jacketed guy over here. So I'm going to try to just quickly inch my way up here. And I did get the warning music, I think, when I was crossing this beam over here, when you're really vulnerable, so I got kind of scared. I don't think I've ever got shot on this, but I imagine you probably can, since technically you're not out of the clear yet. But I've always really not liked that fight over there. Something about it, I have bad memories of it. This next fight, you can do a similar thing, too, of skirting around enemies. So we didn't do too bad. I think we may have lost an arrow during that whole encounter, but we picked up the shotgun, we picked up the handgun, and you know, that's pretty decent. When I first played this game, I didn't really know. I didn't know Nolan North voiced the character of David, but he does a really good job. I think he's very talented at doing being able to throw his voice and doing so many different types of characters in video games. The guy's very talented. But David's a psychopath, clearly, but he tries to lull this character into a sense of trust. But Ellie is far too smart to get tricked by his guile. So on this sequence over here, it's very simple. You just need to stay over here to the left, and at the end, there's going to be another host of enemies. If you just stay over here to the left and hide behind this canoe, you should be good. These enemies also cannot. They don't have ultra sensitive hearing, so you don't have to be crouched while you're moving. Although you are more of a target if you're not crouched. All right, so this is a good spot to stand. And I got the warning music over here, so I was inclined to just go at normal speed, but once I hear the warning music, I'm just going to take off. So there are 2 points of entry into this area over here. This is the 1 point, and then down here where there's an item in this desk, this is another part where you can come in, but I would not recommend trying to get in through that window because it requires moving a trash can over there, and that will take time. It will probably cause a disturbance too. So when you come in here, there's going to be a purple jacketed thug over there through the window. He's also got a companion, but I'm not sure if the companion always stays out there. I think he comes in here at some point. If not, then he just disappears or something. I'm not sure, but I do know that once you take care of him, there's 2 more targets in here. One of them is hiding behind that overturned table to the left. I've got a bottle in here, so what I'm going to try to do is throw the bottle and then run up to these guys and stun them. There is less of a struggle if you bottle stun them first, so you get an advantage that way. And then if we can just locate this last guy, we can take him out without any incident. There's never a bottle around when you need one, is there? But this section shouldn't give you too many problems. There aren't many enemies at all. Just, you know, there he is over there. I think I end up just shooting him. Yeah, what the hell? I mean, we've got an extra bullet, plus we got our bullet back. Nice. All right. Now the coast is clear. There's a bottle of alcohol on the ground. Don't forget to pick that up. And then David is going to accost you as you try to leave the resort area. So after David has grabbed you over here, the cutscene that normally triggers is going to be, I'm going to trim it out, and then we're going to alternate back to Joel over here. Now, when you regain control of Joel, there's going to be a bullet on a ball, I think just somewhere to the right of where you start out. So don't forget to pick that up, and do all of your reloading of the guns. And then you can either leave this house through the garage or through the front door. I'm gonna go through the former first, only because there is an item in the garage. I believe it's a cloth. Let's see how much of a cloth. It's half of a cloth. So like I said, you can either leave through the garage or you can just come out the front door. It makes no consequence what way you come out. It's a little bit faster just to come out the front door. As you come up halfway through the street, you're going to spawn a group of enemies. If you look at the far distance where the gate is, you're going to notice that these enemies come on right through the gate. Now, this is kind of a weird spawn because after you kill two of this group over here, the enemies fall back from the way that they came. So I'm going to use no more than one round of my hunting rifle. Do you notice the scope? In addition, I think, I don't know the magnification specifications for the actual zoom properties, but from what I'm led to believe, the zoom increases with the scope. I mean, what else could a scope, like when you upgrade it, what else could it be? If you notice, the dirt smears are a little bit, actually quite a lot wiped away. So I'm thinking to myself, when I first bought the scope, what exactly did I buy? Did I just buy Windex? I also fired a round over there. I was trying to reload, but I had been holding the trigger. No, but when I was, like I said, am I just buying Windex? But no, I do believe that you're actually being able to zoom in a little bit more, because if you are just buying Windex, that seems like a bit of a bad deal over there. But yeah, just remember that when you kill those first two enemies, all of the remainder of the enemies are going to fall back to eventually to this area. You notice that as I came into the area that I'm in now, there was a couple of hangers on over in this area, and it wasn't until I started firing at them and being aggressive towards them that they all fell back to over here. So there's going to be a couple edits over here, because I went back to examine some fallen bodies to see if they had dropped anything, and there was also some doubt in my mind as to whom was remaining, because at this point over here, I think I have killed everybody, and if not, then I just have like one guy left. So I also wanted to clear something up, because remember in the second video when I took the mandatory damage from that clicker, I was rewatching the footage, and what ends up happening is that after you take the mandatory damage from the clicker, Tess gives you a recipe for a health kit, and you can either choose to use it or not use it. I chose to remember I said I'm not going to use it. I'm going to save the crafting materials for something else, namely a Molotov later. So instead of using the crafting materials, instead of just flat out just using the health kit that she gave me, I ignored it and just kept the crafting materials. And then at the end of the third installment, or near about the end, when there is an HP pickup after the stealth section, when we were running into the subway, that did not say full as I was brushing across it. That actually gave me an HP pickup. Well, the result of not using the health kit, and I know nobody cares, I just people might not know what's going on behind the scenes, and a lot of times when I'm rewatching my videos, I don't want to do an entire run and have made a mistake somewhere, like having taken damage. So I am just trying to let you guys know what was going on. So that HP pickup that would ordinarily say full after you're going in, or after you're leaving that stealth section and then going into the subway, that should have put me up to the top. It's a real shame that the HUD is removed. Very much of a shame. There will be an intermission in this video, guys. There is a scene where Joel interrogates one of the thugs that he has captured. There's actually 2 thugs. What do we have in this room over here? Another half of a rag and some scrap metal. Good deal. Okay. So the intermission, basically what the intermission is going to be, it's not a cut scene that's skippable. It's actually an interrogation of these 2 thugs over here. So I'm just going to leave the scene at the normal decibel level so that you guys can watch and enjoy it if that's something you want to enjoy. And then I will see you after the intermission.
Let me go. I'll fuck you up. What the?
You wait here. Now, the girl. Is she alive?
What girl? I don't know no girl. Fuck!
Focus right here, right here. I'll pop your goddamn knee off. The girl.
She's alive. She's David's newest pet.
Where?
In the town. In the town.
Now you're gonna mark it on the map. And it better be the same exact spot your buddy points to. Mark it.
It's right there. You can verify it. Go ask him. Go on. I tell you, I ain't lying. I ain't. Fuck you, man. He told you what you wanted. I ain't telling you shit.
That's all right. I believe him.
No, wait!
Okay, so with that, I hope you enjoyed the intermission. We are almost finished with this level. We've just got 2 more stealth sections to do. Now, if you do a 180, there is a healing kit in a room right behind where Ellie was. This is the next checkpoint over here, by the way. When I grabbed the healing kit, though, I had no ability to use it, so I haven't taken any damage. So that makes sense, doesn't it? But we've got some something pretty difficult to do over here because it's a sort of a longish stealth section. If you don't have any ammo, that's normal with this because at this point Ellie has lost all of her ammunition. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, she must have just they locked her up and took all of her ammunition is what I remember. So over here, just wait for the enemy to move past the window and then jump in here. If you want to double back and kill him, you can. I see no real reason to do it, honestly, and it also kind of screws up the path of the enemies that are coming up over here for me personally. So all we have to do basically is we need to get to the restaurant where we're going to have the David boss fight. And the David boss fight for me this time it took less than 4 minutes. It's actually, it went really well. And then after we finish off David, then we will be taking control once again of Joel. So it's a little difficult to see where you're going over here because of the snowstorm that's happening over here. But I did do a little trimming of the content over here because I was waiting for a long time for an enemy that I thought would come into this room, but he never showed up. So I'm not sure what happened there. But if you consult my last guide, you'll see that an enemy came into that room. I must have inevitably done something differently, but no worries. All you need to do is just stay hidden from all of these enemies over here, and then you shouldn't need any ammunition with Joel for the route that I'm going to take you through with him, and all you need to do basically is just keep looking for these trash cans that are have the fire in them. Those are your little guiding points. So if you don't know which way to go, just keep following the trash cans as little waypoints or little light markers. And once you get up here, you should almost be in the clear. This guy was coming up to me, so I sent him back the way he was coming. I probably could have made a run for it over here, quite honestly, but you never know. You never know. So just jump into the restaurant over here. You're not going to need to pick anything up because the boss fight is a stealth boss fight, and it's actually going to take place right over here. So when you're dealing with David, you're going to be crouch walking behind the counters and the tables and such like that. 3 stabs will kill him. He's going to lock the door, and a lot of the times too, you're going to almost be able to go up to him, but then you're going to find that there are broken dishes in your way that you can't step over without him hearing it. If he's slightly past the dishes, then you can walk on the dishes and stab him, but he can't be very far away from the dishes when you go to stab him. The first stab that you do on him is pretty simple because he's not very aggressive. He has no idea where you are. But once you stab him, then he definitely has your number, so you're going to have to kind of go into hiding a little bit. And it's not too difficult, honestly. I've always thought that on Survivor they gave you checkpoints on every time you stab him, and that could be true. But I don't remember how they make it work. And he usually holds himself up into the kitchen. I mean, look how forgiving that was. That was a real close call over there. So just mind the dishes, and every time you stab him, just go into hiding. And then he's going to come after you. And like I said, he usually... I got so distracted trying to tell what that was. That was a healing kit over there. Now, when I did this before on my previous guide, he didn't hole himself up in the kitchen. He was over to the right. But I had an idea that he was over here, and sure enough, he was. If you had a brick, you can widen your field of view over here. But even a side attack is fine without him getting alerted to you. So after that little bit of a struggle, you're going to run across over here, cut through the motel, and there is a sniper positioned on a trailer over here. But every time I shot him, enemies would get aggroed for some reason, and I tried to use my rifle to scope in on anyone down here who could potentially see him. But he's actually right by the trash can up there, and I had absolutely no luck of stealth killing him without enemies getting aggroed. So I that's what I did last time. I killed him, and I don't know who in God's name sees him up there getting shot, but I had absolutely no luck stealth killing him. So I did the tried and true thing of just sneaking up here. Because once you approach the trailer over here, you're going to spawn 2 enemies who are going to come out of it. And if you can believe it, they don't even see you as they jump down. So you should enter over into this area with enemies completely unaggroed. Now, we're going to stand behind this area over here. I drew out my bow thinking that there might be an enemy coming over here. If he does, shoot him with the bow, but I don't think that he ever does. I have had him come over here once, but enemies were aggroed, so I think the normal unaggroed path of an enemy will not cause anybody to bump into you. So as long as you're quiet, you should be all good. And from here, you could actually probably just sprint to the door. And there's also a shiv. Speaking of doors, there was a shiv door by the motel that unfortunately I couldn't open because once again I needed a full shiv, despite the fact that I do have a shiv in my inventory. Yet that's not good enough for this game for some reason. You need 2 shivs to open a shiv door. I don't know what the logic of that is, quite honestly, but that is going to be the conclusion of the video, guys. I will see you in I think it's the second to last video. We will be in the spring section, and we'll be getting closer to our ultimate goal and clearing the game. So thank you very much for watching. Don't worry, you're not going to need too much ammunition, if any, in the next couple of parts. So, like I said, don't worry on that score, and I will see you in the 10th video. Thanks for watching my project. This has been video 9. Take care.
I knew you had heart. You know, it's okay to give up. Ain't no shame in it. I guess not. Just not your style, is it? You can try begging.
Fuck you.
You think you know me? Huh? Well, let me tell you something. You have no idea what I'm capable of.